I see we're live.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to the Ripple Effect with Dave and Erica. We have a special edition today. I think one of the most timely topics and a favorite guest of ours, Erica and mine, because of just who she is and all that she has to share. But before we get to Louise, I want to check in with my esteemed co-host. How are you, Erica?
Hi, you're my esteemed co-host.
Okay, well,
I'm good.
so
I'm happy to see you all. I am excited for our chat with Louise, tea with Louise. We've had that before in the past, so I'm excited for getting to share Louise's amazingness with the world.
yeah, and it couldn't come at a better time. I think she's such an inspiration and she has a lot of this knowledge and experience that few people have that you can only really gain by kind of working in the trenches, so to speak. And with that, I'll give a little bit more of a testimonial a bit later, but I want to just get to Louise to ask how you are today, Louise, and say thanks for joining us. And if you don't mind just telling us a bit about your story and what you do for a living.
Oh, sure. Hi, David. Hi, Erica. Yeah, I'm glad to have this opportunity. These are um, really exciting times, and yet they're unsettling. So, yeah. Well, I'm a career coach. I help people with life, leadership, and career issues. And when I started out with my career, I was graduating from high school, and I was really confident that I had my career all set. Computers were the future. Women were coming out of college getting competitive jobs, and I could envision myself selling computers for a man and looking cute, wearing a little navy blue suit, short skirt. So I got a scholarship to a liberal arts college, and I was a math major. So everything was going along fine until the first semester ended and my world crashed. I had flunked calculus. And so I had to find a new major if I wanted to stay in school. And over the next few years, I studied so many different topics and subjects, courses. I ended up majoring in sociology with a lot of psychology and economics. So it's funny that those actually have come to play into my everyday work because sociology is about organizations and groups, psychology is the individual, and economics is the marketplace. So that describes the world of work very nicely for me. So my personal commitment to social justice resurfaced in college. And I had an internship in social work and fell in love with formally helping people. So it was, I felt good. And I was going to go to grad school because in social work, you really need to have a master's to have a substantial role. But I wanted to take a year off and just try and get a job. And I thought it would be pretty easy, no problem. I had a BA in sociology and I had an internship, which is really unusual in those days. I thought, well, I'll find a job quickly. Well, it took me 10 months of learning how to get a job, how to get the entry-level professional job as a social worker that I actually got. And I was in a nursing home. My main job was pretty sad. It was informing families of the death of their relatives. So that job search year is when I began my exploring careers for myself. And then it's turned into be the foundation of what I use to help others as well. So I've studied lots more subjects, gotten a master's in counseling, had so many jobs, roles, helping people learn about the world of work from all different angles. I've been a vocational counselor for people with disabilities, a manager of job training programs. I was a vice president for a nonprofit, management consultant, human resource trainer, employment recruiter, an executive coach, and an admissions counselor for a college that had leadership degree programs for adults going back to school. So it's been all about helping people be their best and find their best spot for work. And that's what I do today. I help people articulate their values, their passions, their purpose, their skills, their genius. And then I help them figure out where they are needed in the world to make their best contribution. It's like a treasure hunt. When the first clue appears, and then it leads you to the next clue, and then to the next and next and on. It's never a straight line, always surprises, and always better than anyone expected. I love my work and I help others love theirs too. So I meet with people ages 16 to 76 via phone right now or Zoom. And I work with people primarily individually. We customize a program that's just for them. And I work with people who are willing to grow, who are willing to evolve and develop themselves personally and professionally. And I teach them and I advise them and I show them how to define their vision of themselves at work and put all the growing, learning, and action steps together to explore that and then arrive there. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm going to let Erica share a testimonial for you as well. I just did want to just say that one thing that strikes me about you is your supportive nature, but also your listening ability. You're such an amazing listener, and then you kind of, and I think the coaching process is very unique. That so few people know how to do it well. But you've kind of inspired me to be supportive and to be a better listener. And I really see the impact that has on people and in being able to connect with them. And Eric, I know you guys have known each other for even longer than I probably have. I've known Louise for over 2 years now, and she's been somebody I've always admired in our chapter for her wisdom and knowledge. But how did you guys first meet?
I met Louise when I joined Abundant Referral Circle BNI chapter, and it's been love at first sight. Just I so appreciate what you do and how you offer what you do to people who are going through all sorts of getting in, getting out of the workforce, wanting to go back, all the different reasons. So I just think you bring a lot of wisdom and expertise to it, Louise, and you're so easy to talk to. People feel comfortable getting to work with you. So my next official question on the roster here is, do you want me to ask that one, or do you want me to just wrap with Louise? Because that's a lot
Hey,
of
hey,
fun.
whatever you want to do. I like you. I know you like some freestyle and whatever
I
you
like
want to do.
freestyle. I just came from freestyling in the pool, so yeah. But Louise, anything that I just said, do you have any? Did you want to say anything about any of that, or you you ready for?
Thank you for the acknowledgments. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
glad.
it's very nice when things come together so well. And that's what my work does. I love my work, and it brings so many of my talents and the things that I'm passionate about and have experience about. And so it becomes a really nice exchange, me and the person I'm working with, to have fun and also get things going. People are often stuck, and the kindness that I can offer, the understanding, as well as the sort of reading between the lines as to what's happening, what the employer is thinking, what the colleagues are thinking, what your family's thinking. I can put it all together and help someone really feel better about themselves and basically develop more confidence. That's what we're doing. We're teaching skills and confidence. And that's what the world needs right now. We're in so much confusion.
Yeah, amen to that. I definitely see that with the people that I'm working with, and I've really had fun referring to you because I see the need for people to take their next steps, and with some guidance and some support, and that career coaching is so invaluable, especially right now. I love bringing you on to my radical self-care Zooms, Louise, like, because just you have something to tell people, so you provide executive coaching. Do you want to tell us something about that?
Sure. So I work with everyone, at any stage of their career, at any age. 16 is probably the youngest for anyone who's thinking about work, even a summer internship or what courses to take in college, what colleges to apply for. Um, and executive coaching is for people who are in executive, quote unquote, positions, which just means they're just like you and me, but they have more responsibility. They have more decisions to make. People are looking to them for more vision, more responsibility, more leadership. And so I help people bolster themselves for that next adventure, a little higher, a little broader, a little deeper, for taking a business or a nonprofit or an arts organization or religious group, whatever, to take that organization to the next level. And it can start with just getting things in order and then growing it. So it's actually very much like career coaching for anyone, except the content is a little different in terms of the problems they're dealing with, and then the expertise is a little bit more, I'd probably say exacting. There's not a lot of room for error when you're in leadership.
Yeah. I I appreciate the way it's really for everyone. Anyone could have career coaching.
Right.
So those higher level execs, those people just getting into the work, it's across the board supportive. So what advice do you have for workers who want to advance their careers from where they are to more senior management or leadership positions?
Well, I think it depends on where they are. So we start off exactly where they are. We don't make anything up and we don't assume anything. We kind of, start talking about what are the problems they're dealing with right here, right now, that are easy for them. And then what are the ones that are challenging? And we look at their history and start thinking about, okay, where have they been? And kind of looking at where they've been through the lens of where they are now. So, what I did 5 years ago when I was doing it felt really different than now. When I look back at it, whoa, there were a lot of gifts, a lot of surprises, a lot of learnings that helped me make decisions for those years up until now, and so can still help me now. So we look at where they've been, and then, dreams. What do they want? They may have started off in an industry, and the industry may have been different, and now it's something new, and maybe it's not the same passion that they had originally. Maybe they've learned about themselves that, as much as they're an introvert, they actually like running groups. I mean, it's just a really taking stock of what's working, what's not working, and then looking at what does their company need, and what they want and what the company needs, are they in alignment? Because oftentimes these days, the question really isn't even about what industry you want to be in or what role. It's more about, should I go or should I stay? I'm just dissatisfied. I'm unhappy. I can't envision myself doing something else, but I know I want to do something else. So it's kind of defining all those pieces that go into what the something else might be: the work style, the values, the work-life balance, the income, the flexibility, the role, all those things.
Mm. Is there something you want, if for people tuning in, just kind of getting to meet you for the first or the second time, is there anything that you want to say to the peoples that are tuning in about this time? And just like you were saying, you had a quote for our BNI chapter. I'm like, do you have something like words of to have people come talk to you, because I highly recommend you.
I did want to just add a little context there, Erica, and that
Okay, sure.
I do see last time she came on, the quantum leap, I see that she has such a big picture view of things out there going on in COVID. So I did want to encourage you to just, share your thoughts on some of the things that you see going on under COVID, and, how things that people might want to be aware of if they're going through tough times, or looking at should they stay or should they go, or
Yeah, well, it's so this past year, and then now we're in year 2. It's been a major time of change and chaos. And chaos is always the scariest time, but also the best time to make any changes at all. So things that people have been thinking about or dreaming about or wanting, in some respects, now is the time to explore it further and seriously. So I've seen that people have spent the last year getting to know themselves better and separating themselves a little bit more from work. Even though everyone's working more hours from home, if they are working, it's clear that the work home life balance is a little blurred right now. But they're also learning about more what's important in their off hours. And for a lot of people, it's families, but for other people, it's not. And so, whatever it is that's really important for the individual, take stock of that and figure out how to keep that more in your front and center view so that as you are doing your work life, you're not forgetting what you've been learning and not let go of that. So, self care is still number one. You know, in chaos and in crisis, which we're still in it. Um, Crises have changed in terms of noise and energy, but it's still here. Um, Self care is the number one thing you can do. And for everyone, that's different. For some people, it's exercise or bubble baths or, sad movies or whatever. But it has to be a number one priority. And employers won't do that for you. Your work life will not give that to you. This is something you have to give to yourself. Your family often won't even give it to you. They'll try and grab. And it's really a time now of figuring out how to be your best self so you can be resilient, you can be learning, you can be open, and you can listen. And listening to yourself is the most important. And then, as you point out, David, listening to others is key these days. We have learned about connection as being more important than ever. And with remote work having its challenges built in, communication and connection are right up there with community in terms of what people are looking for from work, from their own personal lives, and from each other. They want capacity in community building. They want capacity in connecting. They want capacity and skills in making a community thrive.
Yeah, so it's
Well,
like people growing their personal capacity to have it more their way is what I see is happening. Like, it is so exciting that my family member, my sister, all these years of being an elevator, escalator, construction manager, she's just now going, all right, I need a resume. I need to make a change, and I can see that this time has grown that I want this for myself. I want something else, So I mean, for my sister to want that change, I can see it's the times, so it's growing people's like, yeah, I kind of like working more from home and those options and choices.
Yeah. And, when again, for anyone, you don't have to turn everything upside down to find the next thing. It can be just slightly pivoting. You can stay in your same industry, or you can stay in your same role, but add something in or take something away, or find a new employer or a new location, whatever. Yeah, it's really a time of learning, first about yourself, and then secondly about how do you want to make your contribution? How do you want to express yourself? Because that's what work is. Work is a place where we go to express ourselves and evolve, and we're all evolving. That's all we're here to do.
Yeah, I really love what you do.
well, we all kind of have a crossover in some of the things that we do, that we share a lot of the kind of common values that you have to do the things that we do well. So I see with Erika that, you're a great listener too, and you're supportive. That I see with both of you that really people struggle to do things on their own. Like, say it's trying to get healthy or trying to find a job or trying to make a change, you can't do it all on your own. I did want to ask Louise to, you know, why can't people do it on their own, and why do you really need somebody like you to work with, and what kind of difference you see people who tried to do it on their own but couldn't do it, and then they somehow are fortunate enough to find somebody like you to help them? Oh, you're muted,
Yeah,
Louise.
well, oh, am
I
I
guess we're
muted?
just having oh no, you're good. I
Okay,
think it was a connection, it was a little spotty.
sure, sure. Well, these days it's the culture is changing. So in the past, it was the American, culture of everyone's on their own for work. Do it yourself. You're have to be a self-made man per se. And these days, as we are growing and have lost so many connections, physical, physically and personally in the last year, we're appreciating that actually no one's alone, that we're all in this together, and that there's no need to have to think to do it on your own. So oftentimes people turn to friends or family, but they're biased and they're not often able to kind of see you separate from what they know of you in your other activities, your other roles. So getting someone who can be objective and kind and understanding of what all the dynamics are is really the best investment you can make in your career. And your career is often your financial house. So the best thing you can do is to spend your money to make more money. And it's really a place of taking the time and commitment to have an advocate, someone who can champion you so that you are feeling more and more better. The world of work, when you're looking for a job, beats down people. And this is having an advocate, an ally, a staunch supporter in your corner for, whenever, however you want to meet with them, how often that is, or how infrequently it is. It's really important to have a champion to keep you holding your head high, knowing your true value, and then being able to talk about it.
Well put. And I know you touched on some of this, but there are some very challenging trends out there in the employment environment. And I think a lot of people are kind of hitting that rock bottom, or that ability that I just can't take this anymore, so to speak, with their career, maybe with COVID things. But what are you seeing in terms of some of those trends in employment in this current environment that we're in?
Well, there's a lot of trends. Industries are disappearing, roles, jobs are disappearing, but new things are coming up. So we're still in flux. The trends are still sort of coming out and being taken out. But we're all seeing it in our own lives. And some of the ones that kind of hit me are hospitality. Hospitality industry has been so on hold. I'm working with a woman who owns a restaurant and event space. She hasn't been able to open up. She's in Washington State. And some things are starting to open up now, but she doesn't have a safe environment. She's trying to build out a safe environment for her customers. And in the meantime, all of her employees are not working. The bartenders, the waitresses, the chefs. It's really, and when we come back to those open events and those, where, how are we going to have as many customers? Are we going to have the same needs in terms of actual skills? Are we going to need more? Maybe no one handles currency anymore. Maybe it's just all digital. So there's so many things. I think the trends that really affect me the most, though, and I kind of see, are the trends in more data, more artificial intelligence, more digital skills, more bioscience, robotics, data science, data engineering, customer success for software and IT, sales development, behavioral health. finally we've kind of legitimatized mental health now. And so there's going to be more and more need for services to help people cope with what they've been coping with and cope with the changes that are ahead. So cybersecurity is a big thing. We're all on putting our whole selves out there in the cyberspace, and what's the security issues that each one of us is facing, never mind huge companies. So those are some things I'm seeing. In terms of job hunting, a resume has got to be really targeted to the job at hand, because an employer has too many applications, too much interest. You have to be able to do an interview on Zoom. You have to be able to do a team interview on Zoom.
Yeah, I know that can be like a serious grind, or getting grilled. That's a whole muscle to get ready for, being interviewed like that.
Exactly. Having the confidence to keep your head about you when you don't know who all these 15 people are and what's their agenda. Really hard. So yeah, I really want people to, take the time before their job searching to figure out what their vision is of themselves and what their talents are, what's their genius, and get that sort of comfortable with themselves, be confident about that. So when they're going out, they can bring that front and center, because employers are looking for people who are digitally fluent, have the skills for the job at hand, of course, but also willing to learn and deal with ambiguity. So the resilience you've had over the last year, let's highlight that. Let's figure out how you were resilient or how you weren't, and go towards the kinds of experiences that you can be resilient in. Make sure you get those next.
There you have it, Louise Goeckel, let's go forward.biz. If you had an ideal client, do you have one? Who is your ideal client that you love working with?
Oh, I love working with everybody. So my favorite right now, though, are women, because COVID has affected women more seriously. The home, family care, neighborhood care, community care, that's falling more and more on individual women. So I love to help individual women. And a mid-career changer, mid-professional career changer who wants to take what they have a 5, 10, 15-year footing, and they want to really expand that into something big for leadership. Yay, I really want to champion them and help them.
Cool. Yes, you do. Well, I can't wait to have you on one of my things. And, when you say self-care, you're talking my language. I get to do some self-care later tonight. You're so invited to come be part of that. Another Zoom. How are we sick of Zooms or what?
Training for those of us who really try to take it all in. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we close this amazing episode out? And David, I know you got to run, and it's so good to be with you, Louise, and hear about your work. And for anybody who's tuning in, definitely give Louise Goeckel check out her website. You can contact her through her website, letsgoforward.biz, and reach out.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate talking to both of you. It's a joy. It feels very warm and comfortable, just what I like to do for my clients. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
That's a hug. That's a hug.
No, thanks a lot, Louise. We'll talk to you soon. And Dave and Erika and Louise signing out for the ripple effect here. So have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Take